And good morning, everyone. Welcome to this day on this beautiful Monday and spring week of weather that we're going to be having coming up. I'll tell you about that in just a moment, but it's going to be really nice, spectacular weather. On our show today, Bunny Carpenter is here from Third Mutual. She's going to talk about some of the recent resolutions that they went through, and also let you know about, well, they're going to be filling 2 spots on the third board coming up, right? That's right, she's shaking her head. Irvine Clinical Research, Dr. Trin is here today, and he's also going to be with Lisa Colovetti of CCA. And one of the topics they're going to talk about today is medical marijuana. So that should be interesting, and he'll tell you about his Healthy Brain Club as well. A couple guests from the Lutheran Church of the Cross, and you know Pastor Leland Lance, and we also have Paul Kressner of, it's called the Covenant Players. So we're going to find out about that and how you can go watch one of their presentations. And I'm going to sit down with, I don't know if it's going to be 1 or 2 folks from the PC Club, but they're going to talk about their upcoming meeting. Now, speaking of meetings, there is only one meeting today, and that is Third at 1 o'clock, the RMC meeting, and that will be in the boardroom. You going to be there, Bunny? Yep. Yes, she'll be there. We'll be sitting down with Bunny in just a moment. Let's talk about the spectacular weather. And you know, you could not ask for any better weather. We've got the nice cooling fog that is going to be coming in the late evenings and overnight, but every single day, sunny and mild after AM clouds or fog, whatever you want to call it. The only difference is maybe a little spike in temps on Tuesday and Wednesday. We've got a high pressure system that is a little bit off to our east, and then on Tuesday and Wednesday, there's going to be another one that kind of forms and drops down. But really, they're not doing much. They're just kind of staying still and then slowly moving to the east, and so they're not really expanding, which is why the temperatures are staying pretty much the same. And you know, there might be a couple differences here and there, just depending on if the fog in the morning is thicker or kind of flows out a little bit sooner, then all those temps will go up by 1 or 2 degrees. But just absolutely beautiful. And this goes all, by the way, this goes all the way into next weekend. And when we get into next weekend, it looks like another high pressure will come in. So Saturday and Sunday might be going back up to closer to 80, but overall, this is the pattern. Let's take a look around Orange County and elsewhere, and just beautiful everywhere you go. You know, mild to warm. You can take your pick. Go out to the beaches, about 69, maybe 70 degrees is the average. Again, if the fog ebbs out a little bit quicker, then the beach temperatures will be a little bit warmer than what I have there. But you can see everything else is in the mid to upper 70s, maybe hitting Inland OC up there in Brea and Yorba Linda, 81 degrees. Look at Lake Arrowhead, 70 degrees up there, going down to 52. So Lake Arrowhead could actually be a degree or 2 warmer today than our average for the beaches. Palm Springs, there you go. There's our warm. Actually, I should have put mild to warm to hot if you wanted to include Palm Springs. But whatever temperature you want, within, you know, maybe about a 100-mile radius, if you want to go out and get really warm or want something a little bit cooler, just, you know, 5-6 miles down the road to the beaches, you got it. And that's going to be pretty much the same throughout this entire week. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Your attention, please. Take down this number. Did you know that adults with untreated hearing loss experience a 30 to 40% faster decline in cognitive abilities and are more likely to develop dementia? Those with a mild hearing loss are 3 times more likely to have a history of falling. An annual hearing screening is urgent for memory care to help prevent cognitive decline and thus delay the onset of dementia. Free hearing checkups are now being offered free of charge. If you have not had an annual hearing exam, please take advantage of this free opportunity. If hearing loss is detected, hearing aids will be available to try for 10 days. Evaluations only take 30 minutes, but you must call for an appointment. Hearing screening is urgent for memory care. Please take preventive action. Call now.
Managing your own medication can be stressful. For decades, we have watched you stand in line at your local pharmacy, and battle with insurance companies, all to be left with the difficult task of organizing, managing, and remembering to take your medication. AmeriPharma offers a new way of simplifying the lives of you and your loved ones.
In previous years, I didn't require any prescriptions, but now I have to take about 7 or 8 due to various conditions. It's a management problem. My nurse told me about AmeriPharma's MedBox. I switched over. Boy, am I glad I did. It's really easy to use and it's solved all my problems.
Get your medications delivered to your door. You'll receive your pre-sorted MedBox that easily allows you to tear and take the required medication regimen at the plainly printed date and time. AmeriPharma MedBox, the new standard in medication management.
Well, with me right now is Bunny Carpenter of the Third Board, and going to talk about some resolutions. And you know, one of the things that have been going on with both you and you, meaning Third, and United, is going over refining some of the alterations and standards, streamlining them,
Right.
basically, and several other things as well. So you're going to talk about the inspection policy and unoccupied manners, and this is something that both mutuals are dealing with. And in some cases, I don't know if it was with you folks or with United, there's some manners that have been unoccupied for years, but the assessments are being paid. So I know with United, they were saying, yeah, it's on they still pay monthly. We don't know what's, you know, but it's been unoccupied for years.
They have, and there's quite a few.
Yeah.
There's quite a few
Yeah.
unoccupied. And we call it unoccupied instead of vacant because some of them still have furniture in them. And I'll tell you why this is important
Yeah.
later on. But anyway, this emergency unoccupied manor policy, we updated this basically because of the moisture intrusion and
Right.
and the mold. And there has been quite a bit of damage, and if it's extended over a period of time, say like more than 14 days, your insurance company won't pay for it. And so much to the surprise of these owners, they come up with this huge big bill, and they can't get reimbursed for it. So Third said, you know, we've got to update this policy. Well, there is quite a bit of a change to it because the old policy said that they only would do inspections once a year. And we based that inspection based upon if the owner would respond to us. So we had to change that because that was a big hurdle. You know, waiting for an owner to respond, and before we even entered the manor, sometimes they wouldn't respond. Sometimes you didn't have the right address, you know. So now this new policy, updated policy, we are going to do inspections every 6 months, and we have the authorization to go ahead and go into the manor to inspect it. And so when we send out that notice, which will be a 15-day notice, they have an opportunity to respond if they want to, but we will go into the manor. And if we have to get a locksmith, we'll get a locksmith. We'll get into the manor. And this policy is basically by law, when we do an emergency policy, we can do it for 6 months. And then that's what we did with this one, so that we can get an idea what the admin costs are going to be. We have no idea. We were gonna charge them like $100. Then we debated on $50, and then we said, well, we better see, you know, what it's going to cost, because part of this policy is that we will also have a security person, you know, with them when they do the inspection. And then if we have to pay for a locksmith, you know, it's an added cost. So I'm excited about that resolution. There was another resolution on the electricity usage reimbursement.
And am I right? This is when somebody has maybe a leak or something and it has to be dried out or whatever. And yeah, kind of go into that a little bit more in detail. But.
Yeah, yes, we'll see. I don't think a lot of people are aware that they can contact staff and get reimbursed, you know, for the electricity usage. Now, because of the dry down fans
Yes.
and the extra, you know, water, you know, that rises the electricity usage, you can make a claim, you know, to staff for that money. Well, what staff did, recommended, and we approved, was that we give them a flat rate. They figured that, you know, that the $32 per room that the fans are in,
Okay.
you know, they'll be paid. And that is about the average, some less, some more, you know,
Okay.
but it's the average, but it's easier on the administration to, you know, just pay a flat rate.
Okay.
But make note that when they do put in the claim, then they need to have their bill and also evidence that there was moisture intrusion and that they were using the equipment. So it'll be verified by a moisture intrusion coordinator,
Okay.
you know, to do that. So anyway, the other ones,
Now, just a quick question on that.
okay.
This would be only if something, like you said, moisture intrusion, that they would get reimbursed. This wouldn't be that inside their manor, something wasn't fixed properly, their washing machine leaked or something like that. That's all their responsibility then, correct?
Right.
In other words, that's on them. If they have to bring in drying fans, well, this was something that's on them. Am I correct? This is something that if there's a slab leak or coming from another unit or something like that, am I right? Or
Well, wherever the fans are being used to dry,
Okay.
the dry down fans.
okay,
So wherever the leak came from. Now, some of the leaks, you know, come from, the big one is water heaters.
okay,
And another one, when they have furniture and refrigeration, it's the ice maker, you know,
okay,
cord, whatever you call that little tube that goes
Right.
down. It's not covered, and I'm recommending that people get that, you know, piece that covers. It's a little sleeve out
Yes,
of metal,
yeah.
so that the rats don't get in and bite the cord. But that's a big one.
okay.
And people just have no idea. I mean, I'm on the executive committee where the hearings come in. You could be paid thousands of dollars if you don't have insurance and you don't take care of it.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Okay, so the other resolutions that we passed, you know, were pertaining to maintenance alterations, manor alterations, and for attics, for balcony railing, paneling, and for closets and partition. But we are making a special effort, you know, to be able to update our resolutions to make them current. Sometimes it takes us like 2 months because of the law that says that we have to wait 30 days, you know,
Right.
to approve it. So what we are doing now is we are having our lobbyist try to change that law to 28 days. And then we can stop having all of these special meetings, you know, for 30 days, you know, because it doesn't come, you know, before
Right,
our meeting. So that's what we're doing on resolutions. And what else was I going to talk about here? Sorry. Mainly that. And the fact that that we have 2 openings, like you know.
right,
And that I want to invite the residents to this open meeting. It's tomorrow, May 8th at 1:30 in the boardroom.
okay.
So
Very
is there
good.
anything else you would like to ask questions about?
No, I think that should do it. And as far as the open meeting tomorrow, that's about the new directors.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. And believe it or not, we have 5 applications.
Wow, that's good.
We
good.
are excited about
Very good.
that because we like to see the increased interest in our board. It plays a very important role, as you know.
Yeah.
And right now we're working on budgets, and we're trying very hard, you know, to make sure that we don't have to have a big increase in our dues.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
Nope.
All right, thank you very much, Bunny. Always a pleasure to see you. Thank you for,
Okay.
she was graciously filled in today for another member who's Steve, right?
Steve, he has jury duty, and
poor
he
guy.
was stuck on a trial for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow, okay.
So-
So we appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay,
Take
all
care,
right,
and we'll
thank
be
you.
right back.
All right.
Yeah.
The El Toro Water District Phase 2 Recycled Water Expansion Project has installed over 21,000 feet of recycled water pipelines and is now over 75% complete. The final pipeline installations, as well as installations of service lines and final paving, should be complete by July. The connections of the individual irrigation systems to the new recycled water pipelines should be complete by the end of the year. The district sincerely appreciates your patience as we enhance the water supply resources in the Laguna Woods area.
Dr. Christine Chung with 7-Day Dental has served Laguna Woods for 17 years. Her office is close, her staff is the best, and she offers great discounts for Laguna Woods.
I have been a patient of Dr. Christine Chung at 7-Day Dental for 15 years. She and her staff are exceptional.
You may know me from Village Television. I would not go anywhere else for dental care than 7-Day Dental.
7-Day Dental, simply your best choice.
Adapt to It believes that you should be able to do the activities at home that are important to you. Being safe and independent in bathing and mobility will make you feel happy and self-sufficient. Let the professionals at Adapt to It assist you to choose the perfect items to help you live the beautiful life you deserve. Adapt to It delivers, bills Medicare, and many of our products are made here in the USA. When you can't change it, adapt to it.
I'm Dr. Trin.
To get your financial house in order. And so it breaks my heart sometimes when I see widows that come in with $100,000, $200,000 to their name, and yet their broker has lost $200,000 or $300,000 in the market when they shouldn't even have been in the market. The most satisfying part that I find in working with retirees is when they come in on their annual reviews and the market has had a bad turn, and we know that we can sit down and look at them and say, you haven't lost any money.
I'm Dr. Trin. You may know me from Memorial Care, Alzheimer's Orange County, and Irvine Clinical Research. Alzheimer's is the 3rd leading cause of death in Orange County. The problem is, we're making this diagnosis way too late, after the damage is done. We don't want to wait for this to happen. We want to catch this early. Please come see me for a free consultation and discuss ways to minimize your risk for Alzheimer's disease.
With me today from, both the CCA and Irvine Clinical Research, we have first Lisa Colavita. I'm introducing her first because she's right next to me. How you doing, Lisa?
Hi, good to see you.
With Community Civic Association. And of course, Dr. Trin Iggy with Irvine Clinical Research and the Healthy Brain Club and Tongue Out and the Sandal Club of America.
And the nails?
And the nails, the Nail Club of America.
The nails yellow today. Yellow with glitters.
Yes.
With glitters.
Good to see you today. What we're talking about is going to be the topic of the upcoming CCA meeting on the 24th?
May 24th.
Okay.
8:30 in the morning, Clubhouse 5.
Clubhouse 5 is medical marijuana. And I know one of the things you're going to kind of get into is, of course, the opioid use and how that's gotten out of hand. And my first question is, are we replacing one drug with another? And I think for a lot of people, that's a question. And of course, particularly for maybe people who are become addicted to opioids, or maybe they are alcoholics or something where they would rather get off everything altogether. But let's talk about that for a minute.
That's a great question. And it's a question that is brought up all the time by folks who are concerned. And my background in this is growing up in a really conservative family. And as long as I have known and have been taught, marijuana has always been a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's
sure.
a stigma.
Me too.
And when I think of marijuana, I think of like a pothead. I think of somebody at home smoking, having no job, and you know, that's my thought process. That's a picture that I see when it comes to marijuana. As a physician, though, and as someone who specializes in clinical research, I see the data coming out on cannabis, and it's making my world go a little bit upside down with that. Last week, it was a CNN special. Dr. Sanjay Gupta did a presentation specifically on the opioid epidemic.
Right.
And in his presentation, he presented studies that have recently been published showing that those states that legalize marijuana are showing less deaths from opioid overdoses and epidemics. As a matter of fact, the number of prescriptions for opioids, when I say opioids, I'm talking about OxyContin, Vicodin, Percocet.
I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people may not know they may know those brand names, so to speak, but not what that is.
That's right.
And is that mostly painkillers, or does it cover other things as well?
Painkillers most of the time.
Okay.
And chronic pain affects 1 out of 3 Americans.
Right.
And as the older we get, the more chronic pain issues we have.
Okay.
And as physicians, you know, if your Tylenol doesn't work, if your ibuprofen doesn't work, you know, we turn to these heavier stuff.
Right.
The Norcos, Vicodins, OxyContins, stuff that we prescribe regularly. And people are dying from it.
Yeah.
People are dying from it. They're overdosing, they're addicted. So the question that Dr. Sanjay Gupta presented is marijuana an appropriate alternative for pain control? And is it safer than opioids? And the data that has been presented and shown through his show was that over 40,000 people die a year from opioid abuse, opioid addiction and overdose. And he states that there has been no cases of deaths from marijuana abuse or overdose.
Yeah.
And the data was just glaring. And it makes us physicians think twice.
Yeah.
Especially with our training, our upbringing, and everything we've been taught about marijuana.
Yeah.
With that.
Yeah, I think at least, and I'm going to say kind of like my view, and it's probably your view and maybe yours as well, and I'm sure you'll talk about this at CCA. I think when it comes to cannabis, marijuana, whatever you want to call it, if somebody went to a doctor and got a prescription in the form of a pill or whatever it might be with it, what's the compound in marijuana that's
There's several compounds.
Right.
There is THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, which is a compound that gives you the high component. And then there's CBD, which is a second compound that is used probably by 80% of folks who use medical marijuana. And that compound doesn't give you that psychoactive high that we associate with marijuana. With that, so it's a number of compounds.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the point. I think if people are more accepting, is they go to their physician, they come back with a pill or whatever it may be, but going somewhere and lighting up, that's a whole different thing to a lot of people for many, many reasons, and exactly the reasons that you said.
Yeah, at the CCA, we want to be an information source for everybody on brain health in general, universal brain health. So this is one of the alternative therapies, that's medical marijuana, and it's good to have this information out to everybody on what the medical, what the Dr. Trin's opinion is on it. And we're having a lot of success, and people are interested. They want to know more, good, bad, and otherwise. If you don't have the information, then you're missing. So you need to know everything you can about it before you start to consider it.
Yeah. Doctor, again, back to opioids. Is this something, we're kind of seeing a trend, maybe a good trend, and it was talked a lot about during the presidential election. And it didn't matter what side it was, whether it was now President Trump or it was Bernie Sanders, it's about the only thing they agreed on. I mean, seriously, they were like, they both admitted they agreed about the opioid addiction. Is there still a place for opioids? Should there be the community of medical professionals that look at it like, we've got to stop just automatically prescribing this. We really have to look at the situation.
There is a place for opioids. Opioids will take care of chronic pain conditions that typical non-opioid medications cannot take care of. So we, as physicians, prescribe it. We prescribe it judiciously. But there is that addictive potential, and there is that harm potential of overdose, where thousands of Americans die every year because of the addiction and the overdose associated with opioids. And so it's a national concern.
It is.
That is on the news all the time.
I know some states, and I don't know if California is one of them, is even looking at not banning them, but looking hard at the procedures of prescribing them. And I don't really know what the, the ins and outs of even if it's an assembly bill yet or something, but it's talked about in many states. We've got to, it's as if we've gone too far one way. We've got to steer the medical community the other way, whether that's good or bad. But we're hearing about this everywhere.
Right. There is legislation, including in California and multiple other states, developing legislation to restrict opioid use for appropriate reasons. What Dr. Sanjay Gupta is saying in his presentation on CNN was that perhaps marijuana or medical marijuana is an alternative to, and he presented data to show that it was a good alternative.
That'll be interesting. And I'm sure anybody, you could probably go to CNN.com and look up his name, and you can probably see that very easily because they post all that. So again, the CCA meeting is coming up on the 24th.
24th, and it will be at 8:30 in the morning, and we're going to go over the current uses, pros and cons, open up for questions and answers. We'll also be talking about, what the Orange County's position is on it right now, on as far as the legalities of it. But as far as, and then we'll have people there speaking that are actually, have testimonials, people speaking that want to speak and say their experiences with it. We're getting a lot of feedback. And we did a presentation earlier this month in the community center for the neuro support group. And we had about 50 people there, and it was very well received. And Dr. Trin went over the history of marijuana and where we are with the medical marijuana, a lot about the chemical, which is difficult to understand, but he makes it easy to understand.
I think that'll be very good.
Yeah, I found out recently that the Cannabis Club in Laguna Woods is one of the largest clubs in California with over 400 members. and growing. So I was taken aback by hearing that.
Yeah.
But, apparently, I'm sure seniors aren't signing up just so they can be high.
Yeah.
Seniors are signing up because it's taking care of many medical conditions, including chronic pain.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Great to have you both on.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it. And by the way, if you ever want to sign up for Dr. Trin's free consultation, which has to do with Alzheimer's, you can at healthybrainclub.com. We didn't talk about that today because we're talking about the upcoming CCA topic, but you can always go to that website and find out more about that. Good to see you. Lisa,
Thank
take
you.
care of yourself.
Thanks so much.
Iggy, as always,
Yeah, good
take
to
care,
see
buddy.
ya.
All right, we'll be right back.
Did you know that we are living longer, healthier lives than ever before? And did you know that social interaction, brain stimulation, and exercise improve your quality of life? Did you know the Saddleback College Emeritus Institute offers 200 tuition-free classes to older adults in South Orange County? With over 30-plus locations between Lake Forest and San Clemente, it has never been easier to take advantage of your third active life. Sign up today.
Parkinson's disease is a neurological movement disorder affecting an estimated 1 million Americans, including many under age 40. It has no cure. Parkinson's is not limited to how a person moves. It can also cause symptoms like depression, fatigue, and impaired speech. Today, there is a new diagnosis every 9 minutes, though Parkinson's can be present for years before being diagnosed. The American Parkinson Disease Association is the largest grassroots network in the United States, working to help ease the burden and find the cure. For more than 50 years, APDA has funded pioneering research and provided critical support to those affected by Parkinson's. Visit apdaoptimism.org today to find out how you can help millions live with dignity and optimism. Your action today will help APDA put an end to Parkinson's disease.
The American Legion. We're a powerful force for the nation. We're the largest veteran service organization in the nation, with 2.5 million members. And when you add to that the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion, we have a family of 4 million members, working hard every day for our veterans, our youth, and our communities. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.
We love to show people that our sight loss won't hold us back. Thanks to free classes at Braille Institute, we're returning to the things we love. We're connecting with the world using today's technology. And we're learning to get back in the game. Thanks to Braille Institute, it's about what we can do, not what we can't.
Get information about free programs available from Braille Institute Anaheim, or learn about our new center in South Orange County by calling 1-800-BRAILLE or visit brailleinstitute.org.
Right now, I'd like to welcome back Pastor Leland Lentz of the Lutheran Church of the Cross, which is, of course, right down the road. You can just probably hit a golf ball.
Yes.
Well, I couldn't, but a good player could. And I'd like to welcome Paul Kratzer. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes, you did, yes.
And Paul lives here in the village, but what we're really talking about today is the Covenant Players. You're a Christian theater company. And we're going to talk about, let's first talk about the background of the Covenant Players and tell me how it got started. And you used to be one of the players,
yes,
right?
Well, yes. Covenant Players started in 1963.
Wow.
By a Hollywood screenwriter named Charles Tanner.
Mm-hmm.
And he was invited by his pastor to write a couple of plays for the church. And so he did that, and it became so successful, and he was invited to other churches to meet other pastors, and it just sort of took off from there. And so he left Hollywood, and he took some of his former Hollywood actors with him, and it just grew from there. So that was in '63.
Wow, I didn't realize that. Now, is this one company, or are there several companies throughout?
It's one organization, but there are touring troops all over the world.
All right.
So each troop has 3 to 5 people in it. The troop that's coming here will have 3 people.
Oh, so small.
Small.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the plays are only 2 to 4 people.
Okay.
So there's a wide repertoire of plays, some very short ones, some longer ones, and a wide variety of themes. So everywhere they go, they ask the pastor or the principal of the school or the chaplain what theme they want, how much time they have, who the audience is going to be.
Very interesting.
And they plan the program accordingly.
So in a sense, Pastor, this serves like maybe like another way to give the message, give the sermon.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to say in an entertaining way, because I'm sure you're very entertaining, but in a different way.
Yeah. Well, it's special too because it's Pentecost Sunday that we're having them come.
Mm-hmm.
And Pentecost is the celebration of the coming of the Holy Spirit. And I often say it's the birthday of the church. And so we're going to have a celebration on that day, and what better way than to share it in a exciting new way and share the message and hear the covenant players share the message of the Holy Spirit.
So what's the play going to be about?
Well, the play will be about the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
They will be doing a 10 or 15 minute play during the sermon time.
Okay.
So we'll give Pastor a break that day. And they'll do a little something for the children during the children's message time. And then in the afternoon, they're doing a workshop, kind of a drama communications workshop.
Okay.
And then in the evening, it'll be a dinner theater.
Oh, that's
sort
nice.
Of light entertainment, great food.
I didn't know you did dinner theater down there.
Well, we have a beautiful social hall, and so we've done it just a couple of times. So
that is really that's neat. Yeah. So who writes these? Where do these come
from?
Where's
plays
the
were written by Charles Tanner.
Oh,
all of them.
Wow.
He was very prolific.
Wow.
And he just wrote. He died about 10 years ago, but he wrote up until the last minute, just always writing.
Are any of the companies around the country writing their own, kind of coming up with different things and kind of expanding it, or they pretty much stick with
pretty much staying with what he wrote?
Okay.
As far as I know. Now that would be a question for some of the current players. Of course, we have themes these days that we didn't really have 10 years ago, like school violence.
Yeah, of course.
So I would imagine they might be looking for material to deal with some of those more current themes.
Well, and that's a good point, Pastor. Maybe for some of your older congregation, that's not as important to them, but getting the younger folks in, they want to see things that relate to them and are more current and a little bit more on point. Otherwise, let's face it, you lose them. Am I right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So maybe you'll write some. Maybe you'll write something.
Maybe we will.
Never know.
So I want to mention that this is coming up. What I have May 19th and 20th, and on the 19th you're going to have church services at 5 o'clock. And what's the day? Is there going to be plays both days? You're going to be repeating them? Okay.
Yes.
And then the workshop is on the 20th.
Yes.
Okay. And then the dinner theater will be that night.
Right.
Really nice.
So May 19th evening and May 20th in the morning are the regular church services.
And the dinner theater is, there is a cost for that. That's $12.
$12.
Okay. Of course, covers the cost of the food and that sort of thing.
And the players.
And the players, yeah. Are the players within this area? They're coming from somewhere?
They're coming from their headquarters in Oxnard.
Oh, okay.
So they go where they need to go.
Yeah, so not too far away, but
Not
still,
too
that's
far.
a trek to come down here. And of course, if they're doing it for 2 days.
Yes.
You have to put them up for the
They will
night
be staying
somewhere.
overnight.
Yeah.
Saturday night and Sunday night.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a long, especially in LA traffic, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Really good. Hey, what's your website? Can somebody just look up Lutheran Church across Laguna Woods?
Yep.
I know you have a Facebook page as well, so they can get information there.
Absolutely. lcotc.org is the website.
Very good.
Yep.
And this is going to be a fun event. And again, it's coming up the weekend of May 19th and 20th. So check that out. I think it's something really different and unique. And it's great that you're offering this. And is it something you've done in the past?
Not really. We've done our own little dinner theater at our church and did a play. And a few years ago, we actually did the musical Godspell as a congregation. So we have some people within the church that are, very talented, and I'm hoping that maybe we can do some more of this going forward.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Really good. Nice to meet you, sir.
Thank you.
Pastor,
Thank you.
we'll see you again.
All
You
right.
take care.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back.
At El Toro Pharmacy, your health needs and your quality of life is our top priority. We can be trusted with all your prescription needs, delivered free to your doorstep. Call us to have your prescription transferred. We will take care of everything. No hassle to you. We are a full-service pharmacy carrying all your over-the-counter medicines at competitive prices. And we offer complete diabetic care and your immunization requirements too. Under new management, come visit us in Moulton Plaza. El Toro Pharmacy will never be undersold, and we offer the finest after-sales services.
When you travel with AAA, you get more than a vacation. You get exclusive AAA member benefits, special offers on unforgettable experiences, and the travel planning knowledge of your own AAA travel agent. When you travel with AAA, you get the vacation of your dreams. To save on a pleasant holidays vacation, visit your local AAA travel agent today.
With me right now is Bob Sellers of the PC Club, and you are going to talk about an event coming up. You're going to have a couple things, but the main reason you're here today is because coming up on May 8th at Clubhouse 7 at 7 o'clock is you're going to have the Internet and Cable Status Report, which will be presented by Chuck Holland, right?
Our own Chuck, or your own Chuck Holland.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And you might wonder, well, what does this have to do with the PC Club? Well, you know what? It's all tech.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so they're all interconnected one way or another.
We get, of course, numerous calls and people wandering into the workshop with questions about routers, modems, broadband speeds, what's happening, where do I get this and where do I get that? And we obviously can answer some questions. We steer a lot of people here, but this is an annual event we've been doing for about 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
I'll digress just a little bit. We decided to have Russ, Chuck's predecessor, about 6 or 7 years ago, for our May meeting. And the point was that May we break and we're gone for 3 months. So that was kind of our spring, summer wrap-up meeting to give all the residents a chance to come in and get their questions answered and know about not only broadband, but the cable services, whatever's got to do with this department over here.
And you know, tech is not as easy as it's made out to be. Somebody I listen to now and then is Leo Laporte, who
sure.
Of course he's on different radio stations and all.
Sure.
And he's been in this business for years and years and years, and people call in about sometimes the simplest things, and yet they aren't simple. And he's going, you know, the promise of tech making things easier in our life, it has made it in many ways a little bit more stressful and complicated, although once you get it going right, it can help out a lot.
Oh, sure.
But it's got to be maintained.
There's a
like
trade-off.
Everything else. There's a trade-off.
Definite trade-off. People in our age group, residents, members of this club, the stress level goes up very quickly.
Yeah.
And the impatience level.
Yeah. Me too.
Is a factor is very obvious. But getting back to this, Chuck's been visible, of course, all spring here at various board meetings and so on, and spreading the word, doing a great job. But we didn't see any reason to break the chain of this annual meeting where it's the biggest meeting we have. We have more people attend this than any other.
Oh, you do?
And we want to stress that's open to every resident here. And one, there's no need to be a member of the PC Club. Everyone's welcome.
Yeah.
There's no fee. We're not going to hustle you for membership or anything like that. Just come in here, Chuck, and get your questions answered.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good thing what you're doing, and it's one of the best things for people to do because we all have questions. It doesn't matter who you are, but when it comes to systems like your home entertainment systems, well, there's so many variables involved.
Very definitely.
Yeah.
Very definitely.
Now, you're also having another meeting coming up, although we don't have a flyer.
That's tomorrow night, I'm sorry. But
that's tomorrow, by the way. May 8th is tomorrow at Clubhouse 7 at 7 o'clock. So that's what we have up on the screen. But then you also have something else coming up on May 10th. And this is a fun one, genealogy and family history.
Very true. This is the 4th year that we've been trying to do a quarterly, it's just a discussion group, basically, which I facilitate. And frequently I'm able to get professional help in from the society, the Genealogical Society over in Mission Viejo. This particular one will be solo. I certainly don't have expert blazed on my head. This is a hobby of mine and an interest of mine.
Yeah.
But we just sit down together and talk. We usually see a little bit of a video lecture. So again, this is open to all residents, whether they're PC Club members or not. There's a modest fee, a contribution, if you will, if you're not a member.
Yeah, it's $10.
Yeah, so that'll apply. That'll buy you a year's membership if you're not a PC Club member. And if you are a member, there's no charge.
And this is, again, a fun one. And if you want to get into it, maybe you want to know, what's the differences out there between 23andMe and Ancestry.com and Family Reunion and all these. And then I know I'm going to pronounce this on, there's the monochromo and this and all that, the mother's side, the father's side. And I know recently there were, I think it might have been Consumer Reports and also Wirecutter did reports on these.
All right.
And how the things came back. And Wirecutter, by the way, is free. Have you ever heard of Wirecutter?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, if you go on there and just do a search at the top for DNA
the
things.
Topic, okay.
And it'll come up, and it's a very good article. And they talk about the different ones,
very good.
what they offer, how are they different. There's some concern about some of them are taking health information, what they're doing without health information.
Right.
And that article is very good. But something like this is right here, and that will be on May 10th, which is Thursday. Yeah.
And actually, we're going to repeat that on Friday morning.
Okay.
So if people trying to accommodate schedules.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right, very good. I didn't see that.
So, but no, we've done pretty much a quarterly one of these for this is the 4th year.
Yeah.
And we have a pretty good following of people. As high as 70 have said they want to be on the mailing list.
Yeah. No, I think that's great.
I read somewhere recently that genealogy and this kind of research and putting together a family tree is one of the 10 most popular interests in the United States today.
Yeah, I think
it is. An awful lot of interest in it.
Yeah, and you want to find out maybe the best way to get started, and there's costs involved with these. So you can spend a little or spend an awful lot.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Very good. So the PC Club meeting about broadband and internet and cable status with Chuck Holland. That will be tomorrow, May 8th, Clubhouse 7 at 7 o'clock. There's no charge for that at all. And then for the May 10th meeting and May 11th at Genealogy and Family History meeting. And there is a cost if you're not a member for $10. And if you want more information, you can just go to the website. I have it down there, thepcclub.org.
And that'll be in the classroom right down the hall here.
Okay, right on the third floor.
Third floor.
All right, very good. That'll be the one on Thursday night about genealogy. So check that out. Bob, as always.
Thanks very much, Ken.
Thank you very much. We'll be back in just a moment.
Looking for a change of scenery? You don't have to play golf to enjoy all that 19 Restaurant and Lounge has to offer. From our delicious breakfast menu to our delectable lunch and dinner specials. At 19 Restaurant and Lounge, there is something for everyone. Relax with your friends and family and take in the beautiful view from our spacious patio. Or enjoy a cocktail and appetizer in our lounge. 19 Restaurant and Lounge is a great place to socialize, enjoy a meal, or simply take in the view. Join us 7 days a week and experience Laguna Woods' exclusive dining experience.
Remember the good old days when neighbors helped neighbors with everyday chores? Here in Laguna Woods, those days are back, thanks to neighboring. If you got chores around the house like moving, cleaning, organizing messy areas, or need help with your iPhone or technology devices, our Background Check College students can help you with it all and more.
Hire a Background Check College student today. Call us at 949-322-4923 and start neighboring today.
Hi, it's Desiree from Irvine Subaru, where families come first. As a family-ran dealership, your family's safety is our #1 priority. Come in and find the perfect Subaru from the largest selection of Subarus in Orange County. All models are top safety picks by the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety. We offer the ideal balance of safety, performance, and economy. Irvine Subaru, more Subarus, more safety, more performance, more love.
Mother's Day is coming, and Diane's Hallmark is just the place to get Mom a gift that shows how much you care. Our women's department has gifts for that special someone, including clothing, jewelry, Vera Bradley, and Bagolini handbags, Crabtree and Evelyn, and many other great gifts for Mom. Don't forget that our religious department carries a great selection of Christian gifts and Bibles as well. Diane's Hallmark is a Gold Crown store. Come in and experience our personalized service. We're located on Alicia Parkway next to Hobby Lobby.
Our movie coming up today is really kind of an action thriller movie, and it all takes place on a train. It's called The Commuter, and it stars Liam Neeson. And in this, he is an insurance salesman. May not sound very like much like an action thriller, but he has a daily commute that quickly becomes anything but routine after being confronted by a mysterious stranger. He is blackmailed into finding the identity of a passenger on this train before the last stop. As he works against the clock to solve the puzzle, he is unwittingly caught up in a criminal conspiracy that carries life and death stakes for himself and his fellow passengers. This came out earlier this year. It is rated PG-13 and not a real long movie. It's 105 minutes. So The Commuter is brought to you by South County Lexus. That is today at 2 and at 6 o'clock. Now coming up on Friday is Mrs. Brown, and this stars Judi Dench and Billy Connolly. This is based on a true story of Queen Victoria's grief over the death of her husband, and it forced her into seclusion that did not abate until a feisty Scottish groom, named Groom meaning not bridegroom, but groom as in somebody who is a servant, and his name is John Brown. He entered her life and goaded her into living again. Their close friendship caused a major scandal, and this is a factual drama that offers an unusually intimate look into Queen Victoria's life. I mentioned last week that Judi Dench, of course 20 years later, this came out in 1997, played Queen Victoria again in a similar type situation. The movie was Abdul and Me, and both those are true, and both those were coincidentally about 20 years apart within her life. And so these movies are 20 years apart. Again, this came out in 1997. Judi Dench and Billy Connolly is in this, and interesting movie. I think you will like this. I remember when this is a pretty big movie when it came out. Of course, Judi Dench must like playing Queen Victoria because she's done it at least twice for major movies. All right, a couple other movies. Just going to mention coming up this month, we have Paddington 2. Remember Paddington Bear? This one came out earlier this year. All the Money in the World is May 19th, and Girl with a Pearl Earring is actually based on a painting that came out a couple hundred years ago, and that's what this movie is about. It has to do with that time period and the mysterious girl. May 18th, we have 12 Strong, which is also a true story about special forces that were deployed to Afghanistan. And then please stand by me about an autistic young woman who wants to submit her manuscript to a Star Trek writing convention. So lots of good movies coming your way. Now, I want to tell you about the Senior Summit, the air dates on this, and you can see them on the screen here. Senior Summit was last month, and our air dates coming up are Sunday, May 19th, Tuesday the 22nd, Thursday the 24th, and Wednesday the 30th. So we'll be showing you the Senior Summit on those dates. We did show it over the weekend if you had a chance to look at that. But if you didn't, there'll be several more chances to take a look at the Senior Summit. I understand it was very well attended. Now, are you an artist? They're looking for artists for the Village Art Affair. The Village Art Affair is coming up in June, June 6th, so about a month from today. But beginning today, you can register for $10 to be involved with this, to be one of the artists. They're looking for emerging artists, established artists, crafters, all kinds of folks who can produce really creative work. Last year, this is the 6th annual, but last year and the years before, it's been very well attended. They bring artists from local areas, the village, and even the surrounding areas. So if you are interested, please go over to Clubhouse 2 and sign up for it. You've got now for at least about 2 or 3 weeks to do this. It's on a first come, first served basis because the space is limited. So there you are. Great artists, it's amazing. Great weather. You could not ask for better weather, at least I couldn't. We have got everything you want here, just beautiful weather. We've got the cool overnight and morning fog, keeping us nice over the nights. And then we begin to warm up and the sun comes out and it's absolutely beautiful. The only changes are maybe how warm it's going to get each day. Pretty much in the mid to upper 70s, all the way actually through the weekend and into next week with some, I told you of the overnight fog and clouds coming in. And it depends if the fog flows out a little bit quicker, that means those temperatures all go up a little bit, but pretty much stable, absolutely beautiful. These high pressure systems aren't really huge, so they're just bringing us absolutely pleasant weather. Around the county and beyond today, the beaches are going to average about 69 degrees, a little bit warmer tomorrow, but just beautiful. Speaking of tomorrow, Advanced Air Care, Stuart Spencer will be on. And we're going to bring you, Lisa's going to talk to you about the Michael Chang Cup. She's also going to have the folks on from the senior tennis tournament. And then I'm going to be talking to Larry Strauss about what's going on at the towers, the Tower Tales. We'll find out about that tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.